Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
And what's it gonna do?
It doesn't matter how you're doing. Woo! Wheeling, dealing, limousine right, jet flying.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Would you please shut the hell up?
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
The cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the human rubble.
What up, what up? It's another episode of Keep the Kayfabe. I'm Mike, sitting here with my boys, ready to talk some wrestling. We had a big weekend with the WWE Royal Rumble on our hands, plus a huge snowstorm, which made us work hard and sit down and watch the Royal Rumble and enjoy ourselves. So let's, before we get down to business, let's introduce the boys real quick. Over in Glendale, someone who always keeps it regal, Steve Groveschmidt. How are you, Grabby?
I love you.
Oh, man. Who's that?
Who's that?
Brother Love.
Yeah, at least Charlie knows my old
shit.
references. Now running,
Yeah.
what, Raw and SmackDown? Bruce Pritchard?
Yep.
I think I've been listening to too much Jim Cornette lately. It kind of all blended together there.
Yeah,
for a
that's,
second. He's been
that's
going
not-
off lately.
Yeah, that's not
Oh,
probably
but
healthy. That's like listening to talk radio. Like,
It's
not-
great,
It's
though.
not good for you.
Oh, it's great. It's
I
good.
do it in small doses.
That's good. Yeah, he's got to listen to the
Drive-through,
clips.
Jim Cornette.
Yep.
Oh, that's smart. All right, let's go down to Bayview. Talk to my guy, someone who keeps it freshly squeezed, Matt Michelson. How are you, Matt?
You think you know me.
Topical.
That very good one. And let's stay down in Bayview real quick. Talk to my boy. Oh my God, it's Charlie Michael.
Tell me you did not just say that.
Was that your Booker T?
Yep. Sucker for the Bad Bunny.
Dude was dude's
Oh my
ripped.
God.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
stays in good shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's looking great. Doesn't he have his own promotion like down in
Yep.
Texas too, like Booker T?
Yep, he
I
does.
think it's-
That's where some people like Ember Moon came from.
Yeah. Yeah, she
And
was
Vince
in there.
allows that?
That's an indie.
Yeah, they still got some partnerships like that. Yeah.
Oh, he's not full time with them, so he's not getting, he's not getting a full time
He's
check. for
maybe
him.
getting that Legends check.
Yeah,
I am
exactly.
shocked.
Gets an appearance check.
He wasn't in the Rumble, which really caught me by surprise.
I
Just
thought
because
he was
got
gonna
the
be
ring gear
too.
on and
That
everything.
seemed to be
Yeah.
set up for it. Plus, dude,
Yeah.
dude looks like he can still go.
Oh yeah.
For sure. I mean, all he's got to do is throw down a spinneroonie
Yeah.
That's right.
and throw one guy over the ropes. It's a hit. So, yeah, Bad Bunny. That was bad. I never got down with Bad Bunny. I don't know why people love this guy so much.
I think
But,
maybe he's past.
yeah,
he's a
that
little
was-
beyond our demographic, but
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
that's what I kept telling
Possibly.
myself when I was like, "What the hell am I watching?"
Yep. He's not making. He's not.
Well, I
for
listen
us.
to a lot of different kinds of music, and I love like getting into stuff that I normally wouldn't listen to nor understand and like try. But I've tried with that guy and no mas. But yeah, let's get right into the Royal
That means
Rumble.
no
The-
more in English.
Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
The WWE had the Royal Rumble this Sunday, which is one of the most fun shows. Last week we had our prediction episode, throwing out some predictions of who might be there, who might win, and it was very unpredictable. But we'll get to that. The show did start off with a match between current WWE champion Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg. I mean, I wasn't looking forward to watching this match. I'm glad that they like let off with it and didn't leave it as the headliner because I thought that's what they may do. But yeah, I'm glad they got this one out of the way. Who wants to take it first on this match?
I can talk about this one for a sec.
Okay.
I was kind of in the same boat as you, Mike. I wasn't really looking forward to this match at all because just that feeling of dread knowing they most likely were going to put the belt on Goldberg, which thankfully, spoiler in case you haven't seen the Rumble yet, did not happen. Drew McIntyre ended up retaining. This match is kind of like playing a WWE 2K video game where it's nothing but finishers start to finish for about 2 minutes, which I was totally fine with. Like you said, I thought it was a great way to lead off the Rumble. There was a great barricade spot where Goldberg spears Drew McIntyre right through the barricade. Yeah, I don't know. Fun way to kick off the show. Whether they intended it to be like the show opener just to get, kind of things going well and people feeling good, I don't know, but it definitely did that for me.
Yeah, like I said before we started recording, I'm going to try to mix my positives with negatives. So I'm going to start with a positive and echo what you said. I think the fact that Drew McIntyre went over, like, to me, saved the segment because there was nothing special about Goldberg. Just can barely go anymore. And if Goldberg would have won that match, they would have been unmitigated disaster because one, it would have just killed Drew. He doesn't look that great anymore. But, they used the legend in a few minutes to put over the current champ. So it's really hard to get too down on it because they made the right call and it was not like it took a lot of time. So yeah, it served its purpose, I think, is the way I'll describe that match.
It really caught me by surprise when Drew McIntyre kicked out of the jackhammer after a couple of years. Like, I seriously thought the match was over. And
Yeah.
I already had it in my head that Goldberg was winning, but that really, they got me on that one.
It was kind of a crummy jackhammer, though, too.
Yeah,
Goldberg didn't
can't
really
lift him
slipped a little
anymore.
bit. Yeah.
Like, Drew's feet hit way sooner than like his back did. So you know how Goldberg could kind of turn his body over and go chest to chest on impact. So it didn't look as devastating. But yeah, as you said, it's kind of a sign that he's just not crisp. It's not Drew's a really big guy. Shit. Just asking Goldberg to try to do that. He might have more luck having Chris Jericho, a honey baked ham over his head and maybe go chest to chest on that than Drew McIntyre. But yeah, so does this mean that maybe Goldberg isn't going to go to WrestleMania? Because I'd be okay with that.
I'm assuming.
I think it was just a one-shot deal.
The only thing I read,
I'm sure it's a one-shot deal because I think they're moving on to him versus Drew versus Sheamus, probably for the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's true. The only thing that I read somewhere that, again, it was speculation. It wasn't like it was a legit rumor. Was that maybe Goldberg, like this, he passed the torch. Maybe he'll do one more like quote unquote retirement match. But I would be surprised if they pulled the trigger on that so soon with WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's not necessary. I don't even think he's a draw. He's not a draw anymore.
He put over Drew, so he served a purpose. But yeah, as far as there's no point in trotting him out for a Legends pop or anything because there's no crowd. So yeah, I think maybe the Goldberg experiment has to be done for maybe good.
Work itself out.
For now. Till the ratings drop.
Did you have anything more to add, Charlie, at all?
Yeah, I actually wasn't that bad. Like you said, like Matt said, I kind of like all the pinfalls and quick little things like that. It was short and sweet, I guess. I think it was only like 2.5 minutes, I guess.
Yeah,
something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It seemed like it was only maybe 5 or something like that.
From the actual bell,
maybe that's including the intro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. That's perfect. I'm good with that for a Goldberg match if it's 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, that's about all he can handle, I think.
Yep.
I think his entrance actually was longer than the match itself.
Oh, for sure.
I was very afraid, though, that when he was running towards the turnbuckle, towards Drew McIntyre, how he did that head first spear into the steel pole against Taker in the Crown Jewel match. I thought we were going to see that again in this one. But, yeah, he left standing. Nice moment at the end.
Yeah, they hugged. It was, passing of the torch. That part was, it's nice. That's the kind of, it's good for Drew.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, WWE, not a bad start. And they kept it going with Carmella versus Sasha Banks, the SmackDown Women's title held by Sasha challenging, or Carmella challenging her. And Carmella's got a new little look here, boys. I'm looking and I'm liking.
I'm not. I do too. I'm not sure if she's supposed to be one of those moms that enjoys drinking wine all the time, and if Reginald is her sommelier, because they referred to him
Yeah.
at one point. Um,
hmm
but this match in general, I think, was pretty good. Carmella's definitely gotten a little bit better in the ring.
Oh yeah.
I
Yep.
do like her new gimmick for sure. She seems to have a little more confidence, a little more of an edge to her than she did before. So I think that's for sure a plus. But man, Sasha can do like no wrong. She's just every match she has is solid in my book. Like she's just a great women's champ. They made the right call. Sasha ends up going over at the end of the match. But she made Carmella look good in the process.
Mhm.
So I don't know where Carmella goes from here necessarily, but I think they did a few different things that at least could lead to some sort of a crazy, ridiculous storyline, which I'm sure they'll capitalize on.
They're probably that
You're
thing's probably done, man. They're probably good. And they're gonna start gearing it. I think the match is her versus the EST. That's where they're going.
That makes sense.
Carmella versus Bianca.
Yep.
Versus
Really?
Asuka.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
that'll probably
yeah.
be Flair, dude.
Oh god. Anyway,
I
it's just
hate to
so
say
not
it.
what I want to see.
She'll
Yeah.
be taking Asuka's title.
Of course. Please, I think
Well-
I'd almost rather have Becky back, and I don't really want Becky back.
Yep.
Becky Lynch actually hinted that she might have been there that night because on her Instagram story she took a picture of the red, curtain and the gorilla
Yeah.
position.
Oh, I'm sure she
and,
was if Seth was there.
Yeah, but she got like all of her people like all riled up and like, oh my god, are you there? Like going crazy. So her phone blew up. But yeah,
I saw that. I think that may have been Seth sending her a photo to
Yeah.
because
Oh, really?
you're right.
Because the baby's still very young, so
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it. I believe that's what it was too. But
Oh,
yeah,
They
So,
got money for a sitter.
yeah, I think I like where your head's at with Bianca Belair and Carmella. I'm hoping. Well, the Sasha Banks, like you said, Matt, she can do no wrong. I mean, she's probably the best asset that they have in the women's division right now, having the belt on her. And we're going to talk about the Rumble, and I'm really hoping for the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble to go up against Sasha at WrestleMania. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing her mix it up with Carmella because like you said, Matt, she's got this new confidence. It kind of looks like she's not as skinny anymore, too. So she's gotten a little more ripped. I think she's kind of been taking her wrestling a lot more seriously. And if she wants to take a run at the championship, I'd be there to watch. Her facial features are extremely large, though. Her mouth and her
I know.
eyes, and like it's crazy to me. It's like it doesn't even seem real.
yeah.
I mean, it's definitely not real, but like it's unbelievable.
We talk about this and I laugh because I think the exact same thing when I'm watching it in the moment. But I think you're right. She's definitely in shape. Not that she wasn't before, but at this point it seems like she's put on a little bit of muscle. So
Right.
I think she is starting to take it a lot more seriously. And I think I was listening to the What Culture podcast, as I tend to do, and Brian Alvarez earlier today. Both mentioned Carmella looking really good, clearly taking this a lot more seriously. And I think part of it too, in addition to her, getting that confidence, I think the changing gimmick and a little more focus is really helping her too.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that was a good match. The end. There's times when you like the ending is so obvious or the outcome is so obvious that it takes away from the match, which we'll get to later. But this one, it was fine. It was just enjoy the moment kind of thing. And I totally agree. I think Carmella has come a long way. It helps that she's in there with one of the best there is. But even so, I think in her own right, she looked good, and I think they told a good story. And I still, it's the one she's been using, but that finisher, it's like it's always nice in the 2020s and that somebody comes up with like a brand new finisher that you've never seen before. But that like I can't even describe it. But they're like her submission finisher. It's just so
Bank statement.
No, Carmella's, where she kind of like props on one hand,
right.
and it's really like clever, and it works. It looks like it would work. So I thought that was
Corey Graves maybe helped her out with it.
I'm sure he did.
Is this new relationship. Maybe that's where she's getting all this new skill from.
Sure, I'm sure it is.
No question.
No question.
Well, it kept great momentum going through the show, which led into the women's Royal Rumble. We had predicted and threw out some names last week that maybe Alexa Bliss, maybe Naomi. We thought maybe I said Ronda Rousey maybe might come out.
I believe I picked Bianca Belair, didn't I?
Did you?
You did. I was just about to say, Steve. It was Grabby that brought it up, and Bianca Belair is our women's Royal Rumble champion this year. And what a moment at the end. I mean, she felt like she felt the moment for sure. I mean, she was thanking her mom and dad. I mean, it seemed very genuine and authentic, which made it even more, that you wanted this for her and carry it to the WrestleMania. So good on the WWE to put it on Bianca because she definitely deserves it. And she is looking really good, guys.
Yeah, she definitely
She is just
is.
ripped.
Yeah, I won't say too much about the match because Steve, I know you had some thoughts on the match as a whole, but I do think regardless of how the match itself was, I think the right person won for sure. I think we all kind of agreed on the last episode. Like, Steve, I know you called Bianca Belair to win it. I think we all kind of were thinking that in the back of our minds. There were a few moments throughout the match where I was kind of wondering if that would be the case, but ultimately in the end, that's what we saw, which is great because one of the other things I was listening to today, and apologies, I can't remember which podcast it was. Mondays for me, I just love to binge on other people's podcasts in addition to this one. But anyway, somebody had mentioned something about needing to create new talent within WWE. And Steve, actually, I think you may have shared the article about just the average age ranges of the
men's
WWE.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting to see Bianca Belair win the women's Royal Rumble. Not that any of the women in the women's division are older, but just some of the younger talent that we haven't seen a million times already getting that push and kind of getting featured, or a chance to be featured, I should say. So for me, this was really exciting. The ending was really great. My favorite spot in the match was actually near the beginning of it, where we saw Bianca Belair and Naomi do some sort of a cartwheel counter where they were holding each other's hands and feet and cartwheeling across the ring in unison. It just really unique, something different we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
They're both great athletes. I mean,
yeah,
Bianca Belair, I remember seeing her at Turner Hall and she's had her braid. I've never seen her before. That was the first time I saw her. I was like, who is this chick? But she was very impressive. Even, what was that? Like maybe 5-6 years ago? She had something.
Yeah.
And she's really she kind of has the total package. She's got the look, the athleticism, the skill set, the ability to sell. Yeah, the power. She is an incredible athlete. So I'm very excited about this move.
Yeah, it's like, we'll get to it later about the age thing on the men's, but like, yeah, you looked at. Okay, let me take a step back. I'll sum up what I think of the women's Rumble. I think 75% of it felt like kind of a mess to me.
Yeah.
But the end was great because, I had this worry in the back of my mind, frickin' don't let it be Charlotte again. And in the end, the two young up-and-comers took out Charlotte and then had a little moment of their own. Rhea Ripley's 24 years old. I mean, she's got a world ahead of her. I don't remember how old Bianca is. I think maybe mid to late 20s. So, yeah, I mean, they sell, like, to me, it's like there was so much that was just kind of clunky about the overall match, but they redeemed it with the putting the right people over at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once it gets down to that final four, last five, it starts to iron out. But, when you got to get 30 competitors out there to this thing with all different like levels of skill and, throwing the surprises. Who did we see? We saw
Jillian
Tori
Hall.
Wilson last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Steve, can you explain to me and maybe for some of the listeners who this Jillian Hall person is?
So that's funny.
No idea.
I can, although I don't think I was even watching WWE then, but I must have maybe just been reading on it because this is off the top of my head. I think maybe she was around 10 years ago or so, and this is only in WWE like type thing. There was a period of time where she was this blonde, curvy blonde, but she had this growth on her face, and it was like super fake looking. It looked like 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 pizza or so. It was like, but it was meant to be like, oh, this pretty girl with this hideous growth on her face. Again, it seems like something Vince would be like, oh, that's good shit.
Oh, totally.
And then so she carried that. I forget how long she had that thing, maybe a year. And then the payoff was the boogeyman pulled it off of her face and ate it.
Nice.
And then she never had it again. And then, but then she went to this
fake the whole time.
It was fake the whole time, but it was like this super
Oh, wow.
grotesque, like look it up afterwards. She had this growth,
Okay.
but I honestly I think they put the whole reason for it was to have the boogeyman moment. But then the other thing I
Long-term
remember
booking.
about her, which is what they played off of yesterday, where she had this stretch where she thought she was this awesome singer and she was just god awful. So that's what she was doing yesterday, wasn't she? Wasn't she coming out singing or something? So I don't know that she ever held a belt. She maybe held the Divas title once. She wasn't there for maybe just a handful of years. It was one of those that was like, yeah, not maybe, I don't know. They were going like second, third tier of legends when they brought her
Yeah.
up.
She was a deep cut for sure.
Yeah, Victoria.
Yeah, exactly.
It was cool to see
Total deep
Victoria
cut.
because she was, especially in the era of like the pinup, like when wrestling was, when they weren't even trying to put out really talented wrestlers other than like Trish and Lita and stuff. Victoria was legit, and she had a pretty good run and Impact, I think, after that. So it was nice. And she's probably late 40s now, but it was, I mean, she was in there for a while last night.
Yeah, and you could tell she was probably one of the more seasoned actual wrestlers in the ring too.
Yeah.
So
I think she was, I lost the name, Terra or something. I think she was in TNA.
Terror Rising.
Yeah.
Nice.
Triple H's doppelganger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, I know one of your favorite girls is Mickie James, and I just wanted to mention it was really fun watching Mickie James be back in the ring. It's so interesting to see her get in the ring with everybody else because and we've kind of touched on this and I think we've danced around it a little bit, but this was definitely a clunky match as a whole.
Totally.
But once we see Mickie James get in the ring, her work was so much more stiff and snug than the rest of the women. She was there to work for sure. And I felt like a lot of the women were potentially coached beforehand, and I would totally get it if they were, just to take their time, try to find some spots where they can, kill some time without killing each other. But I feel like Mickie James was out there and she was ready to go. So that was cool to see, at least for a few minutes. And she lasted a little while, I think. The one other spot I do want to make sure that we touch on, and we had talked about this a little bit before we started recording, is Alexa Bliss was in this Rumble match, and we didn't know what kind of Alexa Bliss we were going to see. And she comes out to the Firefly Funhouse music. She's in the Rumble for maybe 5 minutes. Then there's this moment where she gets that look on her face where she's just got this dead stare at the hard camera, and the lights start to do what they do when the Fiend's about to enter. But in a strange moment of logic, WWE decided to book this where Rhea Ripley throws her out of the ring before she has the chance to transform. And it kind of made me upset because part of me kind of wanted to see the transformation. But at the same time, I'm like, well, yeah, if I was in the ring and this one is real, I probably would have done the same thing. So
it's like in all those
interesting. I'm kind of
like in all those battle royals when they finally have the sense to get rid of the big guy, like like they like, oh, let's all take out the Big Show or let's all take out Andre, like where they all, like the whole ring gets together. It was like this moment of like, she's about to turn into something freaky. We better get the hell out of there.
Yeah. Kind of push that story a little more, not give it away. I'm glad that she wasn't in there for a long time. Like I said, I don't remember her being in there.
She's been such a prominent storyline on Raw week after week. And that was it. Like, even after that, I'm like, okay, she's going to show up in the men's and do something to Randy Orton, or she's going to do something. And like, no, that was it. That was Alexa's moment. 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, I thought this women's Royal Rumble was pretty good. So I'd probably give it, a B-.
Sure.
Generous B. But super, and that only is because Bianca Belair brought it up and made it what it was, because I felt left feeling satisfied going into the big match between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. who's sitting at the head of the table this WrestleMania, but not before they have a one-man left standing match in the Thunderdome. Well, actually, no, it's in the Devil Rays Stadium.
Yeah, the
They went
empty
to
stadium
like
dome.
a ring in the middle of a baseball field. And we saw some whispers of the Stadium Stampede that we saw in AEW, golf carts being used, climbing big scaffoldings. It was kind of, it seems like Roman Reigns always is doing one of these matches at the Royal Rumble if he's not in the Royal Rumble already. Because didn't he have one of these kind of matches with Corbin like last year or 2 years ago or something like that?
Oh.
I think it was like last year. Oh, like you put Corbin in an outhouse. I think it was in like Arizona or no, it was at a baseball stadium. I remember that.
It
Could have been like Shea Field.
Yeah, I feel like
maybe it was 3 years ago.
There was either dog food or a porta potty or an ambulance involved. It's WWE. It could have been all three in one.
Yeah.
Match. I would totally forget.
Yeah.
There was actually a moment during this match that we saw between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens where I almost texted you guys because the moment where Kevin Owens and Roman, they're fighting in the Thunderdome. Then we see them go back into the back area. Then we realize they're at this massive stadium. I kind of knew that in the back of my mind, but I hadn't really put two and two together till we saw it. I almost felt like I was watching an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Like, have you guys seen The Village, where all of a sudden you realize like the world is not what you think it is? Like, it was kind of like that for me.
It's been a while.
Yeah. I'd had a few drinks at
weird.
this point, so keep that in mind as we talk about this. But yeah, a lot of massive, crazy spots in this match, and all spots that in any other last man standing match would, be the final move or the final spot to get the 10 count, get the win. But none of these spots, these guys just kept getting up from everything. And it really gave me, we were texting about this as a group last night. Kevin Owens wins me back every couple months. He'll do a match like this, and it reminds you as the viewer why he's so awesome and why he's in the main event picture. It's kind of disappointing that this was like his third or fourth match against Roman, and I think we all knew he was going to lose going into it. But regardless, I really like this match. We all kind of knew how it was going to end. The ending, I think there was a little bit of a botch with the handcuff spot.
Yeah.
I think overall, like, had that not happened, this match would have way over delivered for what it was.
Yeah, I think I touched on it earlier. Like, this was a match where I was not excited because the outcome was so obvious.
Oh yeah.
And it's hard to get it's hard to get too into it when you really don't think there's a chance. Yeah. Although they did get me, and maybe some of you guys were a split second with that when Roman got handcuffed. I'm like,
so did
holy shit, they're gonna do this. And then it was clever. I mean, like, the only thing he could possibly do is pop the ref. But then they after what happened after that, to me, lost me a little, not in a bad way. I mean, I think it was an excellent match. If you're going to have a predictable match, at least it's going to better be something that's just like really damn good. But yeah, I thought, I got a little jarred too out of the seeing the I'm still not fully comfortable with the Thunderdome. With the you tune it out after a while, but seeing the empty arena was like weird. I'm like, wait, where did they go? Even because it was a little distracting, but yet not too bad.
Yeah, these matches always make it. It reminds me. Imagine like if you're a little kid with your two favorite action figures and you're going around your bedroom making them fight everywhere, like on your bedpost, and then you throw them over to a dresser. It's like they always, it takes a while to, I don't know, they just kind of take forever a little bit between spots. They're always working towards the next thing, and they have to continue to act, and it's just so slow motion. So I was kind of wiped out after this match. Going into the main event, I had to get like re-hyped up. I mean, yeah, it had a lot of great spots. You knew Roman Reigns was going to win, obviously. Charlie, did you have any takeaways from this one?
Yeah, pretty much the same. It's just sad that Owens has to keep jobbing to him over and over and over. And it's like, it shows, that match just shows the skill that he has. And it's kind of being wasted there. I mean, he's getting checks. I mean, it's not being wasted, but there's no reason that they couldn't did a quick switch on the belt, then get it back next month or Mania or something, because it leaves. Where does it leave? Oh, Steen at? There's nowhere for him to go.
It is tough. Yeah, where does he go from here?
It's like big. No, anything else is like he can't get the title, so it's like it's just kind of a waste for him, And I kind of like that they also had that platform for him to jump off on that pallet as well. I noticed that.
It's
It's
convenient.
like perfect. Yeah, perfectly placed, nailed down. So it wouldn't slip or nothing.
You know what I was thinking of is like as an argument for giving the belt to Owens. Maybe not this close, but like the time before they wrestled.
Yeah.
So you guys all remember when Hogan was the bad guy champ, and then they built up Sting, like super slow build to challenge him.
Yep.
Even along that collision course, I don't know if you guys remember, Hogan lost the title for like a month or a couple weeks. You remember that? He lost to Luger. Luger beat him for the title on Nitro, and then the next pay-per-view lost it. But I mean, the only reason I'm bringing it up is one, to show off my nerdy knowledge of WCW, but two, you can do that. Like if they're trying to do some huge payoff at WrestleMania for Roman Reigns, they could have had him lose the title for a little bit and then get it back, get somebody else. But the problem is,
who's he gonna lose it to?
But that's now it's the like Kevin Owens can't be seriously considered. No, maybe Daniel Bryan, but there's really nobody on SmackDown left to credibly challenge him, and that's the problem they're running into.
Yeah,
and I swear, if they had fans back in the stadium with him winning so much, he would be close to getting go away heat, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because he, it's just like being a good face. He just wins everything. He's beating guys that the Mark fans like me want to see win. He's beating those guys,
Oh yeah, this is Vince McMahon's wet dream right now, having an empty arena and have Roman Reigns as the winner, where there weren't any genuine boos for this guy, where it's trendy to hate this guy.
Yeah. He can pipe in his noise.
Yeah. Wait. Hold on, guys.
No, there's nothing yet. Nothing yet.
Okay.
It's not yet.
For the listeners who can't see our video, Charlie was glancing over at the TV, which I thought to be Monday Night Raw. So
it's Raw.
We'll keep you posted when.
Well, I guess it is. Go ahead and start it. Go ahead and do it.
All right. Okay. Well, you asked for it. It's now time for Charlie's Corner.
And now it's another exciting segment of Raw, and a match you guys probably haven't seen or talked about in months. It's going to be Randy Orton versus Edge as the main event for Raw again tonight.
What?
Yep.
Well,
that's what they're doing.
Not to get ahead of ourselves here, but you have to give the world of credit to Randy Orton's recuperative powers. I think he actually I think he might be immortal, because his burns were magically gone days after.
Gone. 6 days. 6 days.
Yeah.
I hear he's sponsored by Neosporin, actually.
Yeah, he should be now. Or Victoria Mexican beer, or whatever that
he's
promo
perfect.
was.
Oh yeah, that was so weird.
That was so weird.
That was so funny. Shout out Rey Mysterio. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Not a mark on his face.
This is Charlie's Corner.
Boy.
Nice. Well, I've got to say one more thing about that Kevin Owens Roman Reigns match. Like I said, it kind of dragged on for me. I actually found myself Googling how much Kevin Owens loves dinosaurs, or like if he's a big fan of Jurassic Park, if he ever said
pandas.
Yeah. Because he's got
pandas.
that huge, he's got like this huge Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton tattoo. Like, what's the deal with that?
You know what that means? He's got to end his contract and get over to AEW so he can wrestle an actual dinosaur in Luchasaurus.
Luchasaurus.
He's absolutely. He's like into pandas, and I think he's really into going to zoos too.
Oh, he's a big animal lover.
Yeah.
Does he like rescue them or like donate money to like?
I don't think that. I think he just likes going.
Just likes looking.
Yep.
Huh.
That's his
thing.
It.
I respect it.
Maybe. I wonder how he feels about Tiger King, Joe Exotic. If you watch that, if it probably rattled him, got him so pissed. I mean, that would make me want to beat the shit out of Roman Reigns. Maybe you should watch a little Tiger King before he trots out there next time.
Yeah, maybe he won't job for him then.
Well, speaking of kings, we had Jerry the King Lawler sit in and announcing
Yeah, that
He's
just
lost
he
it for
couldn't
sure.
go away. Yeah, he is terrible. He's so
I
bad.
didn't know they renewed his contract. I knew it ended a while ago. I didn't know he had got renewed, or maybe he's just doing
He always comes back.
pay as you go.
And
He
he
could
just
bring him back for the
brings
Rumble every
nothing.
year.
Yeah, and he just brings nothing to the table. He doesn't follow the product clearly. He just his tired one-liners and stuff like were barely
He
funny.
didn't even
years
have
ago.
any.
No,
Yeah.
he was
He
just
didn't even
there.
have any.
Well, with the way everything is now, I'm sure they were like, okay, Jerry, you can't do any of your classics.
Well, that's
And
just it. Yeah, the time's kind of past
Oh.
Jerry's brand of humor.
it totally has.
He
So
did
unfortunately, we
one.
didn't hear anything good from him.
He did one in the women's Royal Rumble where
course
he's
he
like,
did.
I wish I was in there getting attacked by all these women. It looks like heaven. And they're like, oh, Jerry, I don't think you
Jerry.
can say that anymore, bud.
It's the Uncle Jerry.
Yeah, this isn't fucking 98 with Sable and Kitty Cat and all those
Puppies,
other-
puppies.
Ugh.
Yeah, stay at the puppy area. We've thought, there should be some young puppies in the men's match Royal Rumble, but we saw a lot of old dogs in there. A lot of the hubbub about this year's Royal Rumble is 50% of the entrants are veteran wrestlers, people that aren't wrestling at all on the shows, and they just bring them back for these big shows. And a lot of younger wrestlers are pissed because they work all these crummy pay-per-views, Payback or Over the Edge or whatever the fuck they
Great
call
balls
them
of
nowadays.
fire.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Great Balls of Fire. Yeah, that was the best.
Even
one. Jeez.
even the
Stomping
one
Grounds.
yeah,
Yeah,
even the one person they brought up from NXT is like 38, 39.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hernandez.
Yeah, the men's Royal Rumble, it was well, how do we want to go about this? What was I saying? I was like, basically the talent is pissed because they bring back, folks like Goldberg, Edge, all these old guys to take spots in a match that can put them over. At
Yeah.
least give them a little shine.
That was an old.
So-
There was like what two, three people under 30 on that.
Yeah.
Whereas
that
the
was
women's,
crazy.
I mean, yeah, you brought it up earlier. The women's, I mean, you can rattle off like Rhea Ripley, 24, Toni Storm, like 24, Bianca Belair, mid 20s, like so many
Liv
people
Morgan.
in there. Liv Morgan, so many people in there were young, and I mean, there's some bright future there. I don't think Kay and Billy Kay and Peyton Royce are all that old. I mean, it's just there's so much.
No.
But the men's is
who do-
like, yeah, the
Who
average.
did we
was, what,
see
like
in the men's?
38?
We saw Kane.
Yeah,
We saw
Hurricane.
Well, Edge,
Yep.
Hurricane,
Carlito.
Christian.
I mean, even Daniel Bryan's getting up there. Christian. Shit. I mean, ancient people.
you know what?
And,
Okay, here's one for you. Carlito is not as old as you think.
What is he like? Probably
All right.
30s.
41.
Okay, so
That's all right.
so that's Carlito. So Christian, older or younger?
Older.
Yes. So and how old is Christian? What is he? 46,
I
47?
would think that I didn't look it up, but I would assume that's
Probably
about right.
40.
He looked good.
Edge
I mean,
is-
you got to give credit. Edge and Christian both for their age. Edge is wearing it in his face, kind of, but
yeah, but his body looks good.
dude's
Yeah.
ripped, and he was in there for over an hour. I mean, and Christian did
Yep.
not embarrass himself whatsoever. So at least they brought out, mostly with the exception of Kane and Hurricane, they didn't bring out guys that looked kind of like, ugh. Like even Carlito, who, I mean, again, he's not that old, but he looked pretty good.
He did, yeah. Kane, Steve, when you just mentioned Kane, I kind of chuckled because as we were watching the Royal Rumble, I just kind of laughed at Kane because even his spots in the ring, you can tell he's done.
No, he's a mayor. for
and Rey
God's sake.
Mysterio. Rey
Yeah, Rey
Mysterio, he's
Mysterio,
up there
yeah.
too.
Mid-40s, I think.
Recently sponsored by Victoria Beer. This is the first that I've seen in the WWE like this.
Yeah, I felt like I
They
was
went
They
watching
in-
a
were
YouTube
so
video.
awkward about it. What was that,
Oh,
man?
the promo
It
or
was
the
so
ad
weird.
read by
Yeah.
Michael Cole.
Yeah, I was just
Jeez.
gonna say I felt like I was watching a YouTube video where all of a sudden they're like, "We're gonna show you how to finish building this table in a second, but first, today's video is brought to you by Squarespace." It's like, okay, and here comes Rey Mysterio. By the way, he's brought to you by Victoria Beer, the Mexican lager, and Michael Cole's saying this on commentary. And what's funny is, I think it was like right at the end of him doing this whole bit where I finally realized what he was talking about. And I said, wait a minute, did he just do an ad in the middle of the Royal Rumble? But
Oh yeah.
that also makes me stop and realize how little anything Michael Cole says actually fucking matters, because like,
Mhm.
oh, how did I not notice this earlier? And in fact, the moment I noticed it, my phone started blowing up from you guys who had noticed it, and it couldn't help but point it out to everybody else on the podcast. So yeah, that was a really interesting moment.
That was an authentic ad read, as they say. Yeah, I was going to say Dominic was in there, and he was probably one of the youngest participants in this Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I think he probably would have been the youngest.
I think he was at 23.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say that Ricochet. I mean, it's impressive. You know, he was in a qualifying match to make the Rumble that he lost, and then he was still in the Rumble. That's impressive.
How's that
Yeah.
work?
Yeah, I feel
Vince
like
must
that
really like
very
him.
well. I feel like that very well could have been one of those like, oh well, nobody will remember that. Like sometimes it feels like
Yeah.
WWE does stuff like that. Oh, it's okay, nobody's gonna care.
All the time.
Yeah, don't let
Yeah.
this go to your head, Ricochet. Vince still hates you, and you're never going anywhere. So
Yeah.
don't let this be a
Didn't
glimmer of
Ricochet
hope
get eliminated by
whatsoever.
like frickin' Kane or something?
I think it
I
might have
can't
been Kane.
remember.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel,
like
I
I,
think
I
it
feel
was
like,
Kane,
and
yeah.
I'm
That's
curious what you
lame.
guys think of this. Like, do you think Vince purposefully punishes guys who were indie superstars and are like super popular on the internet? I don't, because I just can't explain Ricochet
Well,
in any
there's
other
a whole
way.
deal. I mean, there's always been that rumor they talk about if Vince didn't create you, he really doesn't push you. You know, he really doesn't kind of push you that much. You know, most
With
of the guys that
some exception, like AJ, but yeah.
AJ's the exception, but there's not been many that came from somewhere else that's been
That's
pushed
the only one
pushed pretty hard.
That's the only one I can think of as AJ. I can't think of anybody else, to be quite honest with you.
Not like that. No, yeah, AJ is probably easily the most successful that was made somewhere else.
Yep.
Can I?
Yeah,
Can I?
he didn't even have to go to NXT. You know, like
No, he went right to the top.
Steen and
Yeah.
Ricochet did. Yep. But I guess we could take that back. But I guess he was originally a guy, Drew, because he was originally his golden child.
Right, and then kind of
brought him back.
Yeah.
So, but he did kind of create him, though. You know.
True. Yeah, he did start there mostly. I think now's the time for my rant that
for sure.
I pointed out in both matches is okay, I get that they do some things in there for like entertainment value, but it annoys the absolute shit out of me how the illogic of like, okay, Billie Kay was freaking hilarious once she got in the ring and started acting like playing both sides with like the Riot Squad and that. But to come when someone comes down to the ring and then sits at the announcing table, or Seth Rollins like hangs out outside the ring for like how many minutes? It's like it's just so like I get one, it's been overdone. Like how many every year now, every battle royal, somebody goes under the rope and hides out for a while. But
yeah,
it's just so
and then
stupid
they forget
to me
about
because yeah, we're supposed to forget about them. But it's just so illogical to me because then why wouldn't anybody do that? And it's like everybody, even the bad guys, are all going to stay in the ring except one who's smart enough to go hang out outside. It's just, I don't know. It's just the first time they did it, probably 30 years ago, was clever, or when Shawn Michaels did it. But it's like now it's just lazy.
You'd have to be an idiot to get in the ring right away in a Royal Rumble.
Well, that's what I mean.
Everybody would do it.
But then, it's funny. Another thing related to that, what I noticed was like, because they, remember years ago, it used to be 2 minutes in between. And then if you really count it, sometimes they're not even consistent with the clock. They just kind of do it by feel, which I'm okay with. But the women's in particular, it felt like by the time their entrance was done, they were counting the next person, and it was really weird.
Yeah.
Except the number 30, it was like there was like this really long gap because I think they were doing some goofy story. They were doing something in the ring, and they clearly held off on the count until they were done, and then all of a sudden it was 10, 9, 8, and Natalia came out. But no, that's my rant. Is that even though Billie Kay made it. Like she was pretty damn funny last night, but that whole coming and then just deciding to sit and talk to the announcers, it's like, come on, that shouldn't be allowed.
So Grabby's golden rule: you get your ass in the ring when your number is called in the Royal Rumble.
And I
Get
feel
your
like,
ass.
and I feel like if you leave the ring, even if you leave it under the top rope, like you should be done. Like otherwise, like taking a powder, as they
Yeah.
say, shouldn't be allowed.
I hear
But
that.
it's fake.
Yeah,
It's not.
and
I mean,
we saw, to go along with your hanging out outside the ring, they played the classic Randy Orton comes out at 1 or 2 or whatever it was. And I'm like, oh, great. We're going to see this guy in the ring for an hour and a half. And it's like, great. Well, he faked an injury and he
Did
went
he?
off. And yeah.
well, I couldn't tell.
Totally.
I couldn't
yeah.
tell if it was meant to be fake because, like, he actually was put through like something, wasn't he? Like a table or something,
I
or
don't.
hit with a chair.
Dude.
Yeah,
But I thought he
forget
was
how
just no.
injured-
I think I thought he was just doing a lousy job showing, selling at the end. But no, he actually was. The idea was that he was faking it.
Yeah, 100%. And
Okay.
and especially with
That's
all the
better.
camera cuts to him hobbling
Yeah.
out, there was
Yeah.
no question that he was selling a fake.
Okay. Then I take that back. But it's Randy Orton. He still sucks.
But I mean, yeah, it's the classic. That's another move just to, like, keep the viewers guessing.
Yeah.
I guess the older we get, the more keen we are to it. But,
Yeah.
we've watched a lot of matches over the course of our lives.
We even hit each other up at the group text like, oh yeah, you got Orton's 100% coming back into this match. And what's funny is I completely forgot he had pulled that by the time the match started to wind down to the end.
Oh, yeah. I was like 2-3 beers deep by that. I totally forgot about Randy.
I always
being
try to
off.
forget about Randy Orton.
Big time. So the result of this match was, Randy Orton coming in last minute. Edge is still in the ring, and Edge, who Charlie said like last week on Raw, oh, they just announced Edge being a participant. Well, holy shit, he's your winner, and he's going to be headlining WrestleMania this year. Who would have thought?
Yeah,
I certainly didn't.
That was awesome. I think when we talked about this match last week, none of us really had a confident guess as to who we thought was going to win, or somebody that we really, really wanted to see.
Well, we said there's like nobody that could, and we didn't think Edge, and I guess it makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah, I think it does. The only other person I think in that final 5 that I would have wanted to see would have been Daniel Bryan. I feel like he would have been a good fit, but at the same time, he didn't really look good in this match either. At least they didn't.
Dude,
really
he
put
looks
him front and center.
disgusting.
Really?
He looks
Wow.
disgusting. All the time he looks disgusting. With the beard, he looks disgusting. With the short hair, he looks disgusting. His face looks like
I like
a
his look.
skeleton. And he's like he reminds me of a
This is
legit
Mike's
farm
corner.
animal. He shouldn't. I don't know. Do you
Wow.
remember when he was wrestling? Who was that guy? Drew Gulak or whatever it was, and like
Gulak.
they did like a
Goulash.
suplex off the ropes, and he pulled Daniel Bryan's Speedo down, and his unit went flopping out on TV, and his balls were out and everything.
I don't remember this.
I do not either.
Oh
I
my
think you
God,
fantasized this.
Yeah,
No,
Just saying.
no, this is real. It was real. It was like a year ago in April or something. I remember because I was in Pittsburgh. It was when me and Kristen, I think, were probably going to our marriage stuff, because I watched it at her parents' house and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this just happened. It's in the group text, never mind. But whatever. Daniel Bryan looks disgusting. Johnson in or Johnson out. The guy's gross. I
That's
would
a
never
harsh
want to see
stance
that
right there.
guy.
Wow.
He's got a Bella twin.
I'm standing firm.
you.
I know that's the
really-
thing. It drives me crazy.
So you really didn't want him to win, which that's fair. I get it. I was kind of surprised, but not totally shocked to see Seth Rollins return as number 29. There was definitely a moment though where, Mike, I felt about Seth Rollins how you kind of feel about Daniel Bryan, where I did not want him to win. And when they even hinted at
here.
the fact that he might, I just thought to myself, yeah, WWE can't help themselves. You know he's going to win. And the moment we saw him get eliminated was probably the biggest moment of relief I had during this match.
Same here.
And there was probably 3 or 4 more swerves after that, which kept me guessing the whole time. So by the time Edge finally won the match, I was 100% on board with it.
Right.
Yeah, that's I was terrified that Seth Rollins was going to win. Like, I just there's something like in my Hall of Fame of people I don't like. Randy Orton's up is like probably number one, but Seth Rollins is moving up that list because it's not okay. You're gonna get good matches from him, but his character is just to me so lousy, and there's nowhere left to go. And I guess that's probably more a WWE. That's my same argument with like my problem with Charlotte and some people is just they've done it all and they've hot-shotted so many things that there's just feels like there's nowhere else for that character to go.
Well,
like unless they do a complete character change.
Well, yeah, I don't know who had this Monday Night Messiah idea, because if you call yourself a Messiah, you have to have followers. You got to have like an NWO behind you.
Yeah, he had,
and then it whittled down to Buddy.
Who was it before?
Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy, yeah.
Good Buddy Murphy
and
those two twins, not twins, but those two guys from NXT.
Authors of Pain, who they dumped.
Yeah, Authors of Pain,
okay,
they cut.
So that's three people. People. You can't be a Messiah with three people.
Messiah's got to have at least 12.
Yes.
Exactly. If he would have been like Hollywood Hulk Hogan and was the leader of the NWO, then that would be something.
Yes.
If you are calling yourself a Messiah.
Yeah. If he had Virgil, that's a start.
Pick him up.
Yeah, they definitely.
Everybody's in.
If they had leaned a little harder into the Messiah gimmick, I think it would have been really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever would.
He
kind of lost it. I mean, he kind of lost the crowd or the fans with that gimmick, and he was bitching about. He's like big. He became like big cheerleader for WWE back to the corporate. So that kind of turned him against.
He took a shot at Osprey, and then he wound up having to backpedal.
Yeah, exactly.
He just looked so corporate and lame when he was doing that.
So like it's gonna be real tough for him to get ever back big.
Plus, I think when he went exclusive, being with Becky Lynch, who was like the hottest wrestler at the time, not just looks wise, but still, I mean, she's hot.
I don't know about looks wise ever.
Hey, I'm into it. I'm into it.
Above average.
But whatever. There are marks out there that fantasize like, oh man, if I just had a chance with Becky. Oh man. Like if they would ever have a chance. There's no way in hell.
They need to get on Instagram then.
Well, that's what I mean. They need to get their heads examined, because there are people that fantasize like some guy who's sitting in like bumfuck nowhere that's like, man, me and Becky Lynch, we're gonna be someone.
And Seth
poster
stole
on
her.
the wall. And Steph stole it right out from under me. God damn him. So yeah, everybody who had a crush on Becky Lynch probably hates Seth Rollins' guts.
Well, and you just brought up, actually, there was another thing. When they finally acknowledged that couple, like on TV, like, I don't remember the details now, but like that was really weirdly written, and like he was kind of looking like a pansy, and then like didn't help her. Like there was like some weird stuff going on where like they completely wrote that story terribly. And I think that
it would have been
that, I think, as much as what Charlie said, killed that character too.
Oh yeah. They fumbled it. They fumbled it for sure with him, because he was hot. Like he was their biggest thing.
When he turned on the shield and stuff. Yeah.
Dude.
Tee it up, Matt.
Oh boy. It's now time for Charlie's Corner.
Oh God, you gotta see this, dude. So they have the match. I don't know what happened to the match, but
what match?
Edge and
Randy.
Randy. Well, Edge pinned him. Only reason he pinned him is because what's her name showed up from the Fiend. Alexa showed up sitting on top of one of the ring posts and started like blood coming out of her mouth. So they're not done with this Fiend Randy Orton thing.
Randy Orton Randy Orton wrestled a WrestleMania match with a ring changed like where they showed like insects and stuff like. Like, he should be able to handle a moment like that now.
Yep, but that distracted him to get speared by Edge to take the L.
Dumb. The only positive out of that is hopefully they just they keep Randy Orton and Edge away from
he doesn't ruin Edge. Yep.
Yeah.
This has been Charlie's Corner.
And another excellent episode of Raw in the books.
Another excellent episode of Charlie's Corner in the books.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So did like Alexa Bliss bite somebody the reason she was bleeding from the mouth? Like, what's the deal?
She was just
demons.
horror movie, just bleeding from the
Oh
mouth.
my
dude.
god, Jesus,
Yeah.
it's getting bad, folks. But
Getting.
it's been bad.
Oh, sorry. I'll save my point until after the Rumble talk.
Oh
Or
no,
are we done?
no. What?
Oh
No, what do
yeah,
you got,
I brought this up to you guys off the air, but I just wanted to mention to our listeners that I got a new TV a week ago, which was a nice way to watch the Rumble. But there's like these free channels through the Zumo service, and one of them is an Impact Wrestling one, where pretty much 24/7 they show highlights from years past, and I think more
really?
recent. So I got this morning as I was having breakfast sucked into. They did a special on the feud between Sting and Hogan in TNA when Bischoff was there. That was that kind of period of time when people were, ripping on like Impact, that Bischoff and Hogan's egos were out of control and all that. But the funniest damn thing was it was like Hogan like somehow got control of the company, and then Sting was like, "No, this guy's not trustworthy. There's stuff going on," and it culminated into a street fight. And it was super cheesy and corny. But as I was watching this like hour-long thing, I'm like, that's better than like 75% of what's in WWE right now. It was actually a coherent, patient story, and like that's like
just copy that.
People consider that a low point in TNA, and it was better than most of what it's better than freaking blood coming out of Alexa Bliss's mouth.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say. That stuff that they're doing on TNA was better than Raw right now. They say even at the time it was better than what WWE was doing, but nobody was really watching it.
Right.
So
the more
how do we watch that?
Well, this Zumo, I think you brought up Pluto as a free. These are two services that are basically free, and they're buoyed by ads, like commercials and stuff.
Right.
But there's hundreds of some channels, and they got weird stuff. Like there's a divorce court channel where it's just nothing.
Those shows.
But
I love
there's
it.
an Impact Wrestling one on those two services, and it just shows stuff from over the years. Basically, it's almost like a subset of their paid service.
It's funny though, because my wife just bought an antenna. We just put a TV up in our living room, and it's a Roku TV just because they're easy, accessible, whatever. Yeah. But she got this nice antenna that you just screw in, and then when I did the normal local channels, they gave me like 100, just like you said, like the Zumo or Pluto TV that like came with this antenna. So I wonder if I went up there and filed through it that I could find what you're talking about.
I think you would.
What's the name of the channel?
It's called
Zumo.
Impact
Do you remember?
Wrestling.
It's called Impact.
It's called Impact Wrestling, and it's got their logo. So yeah, I don't remember. It's like in Zumo, it's one of the later numbered ones out of the 100 they got. So
probably it's like in a sports section, kind of.
I think it is in a block
like on the grid.
Sports ones. Yeah, so check it out. I mean, it's, if you, like I said to my wife, I'm like, I'll take free wrestling. It's they got some classic stuff on there.
Put it on.
Yeah,
we're gonna need it. We're gonna need it if Raw keeps going like this.
That's right.
Shit. But yeah, we're building to WrestleMania. So Edge, who do you think he's gonna face at WrestleMania now?
Oh man, at this rate, it's probably going to be Randy Orton in some capacity. Whether Randy takes the belt off Drew.
No, he's got it. No, I'm assuming. I don't know how it works, but I'm assuming it's going to be Reigns.
That's my prediction.
Unless they turn Drew heel really quick, but it's got to be Reigns.
That would be so stupid. It's like they put all this investment in Rand and Drew. They fed him Goldberg. It's like if they were doing all of this to pump him up, you can't turn him heel now.
No. He's definitely a face.
And Edge McIntyre are both too likable of stories. I don't think that make. To me, it's like it's almost got to be Reigns.
It's got to be. It's always got to be good guy, bad guy.
Yeah, Sheamus, I think, is what they're. Maybe not for WrestleMania, but they're setting up Sheamus next for McIntyre.
Ugh.
Maybe it is
Sheamus, another disgusting character.
Well, Sheamus turned on him tonight, so
yeah, exactly.
Speaking of good guys who are bad for this, did you guys watch any of that Yokozuna thing last night?
I watched part of it.
I loved it.
Did you watch the part where Hogan Dude, what a piece of shit, dude. What a piece of shit, dude. 'Cause I had kind of quit watching around that time, and I didn't know he jumped in. He jumped in to take the title from him right as he won it at Mania.
That's right.
Dude,
I remember
what
that.
the
I
hell?
saw
dude?
that. I
That
saw
was
that
so
when it
great when
happened.
Reigns looked so pissed in that comment when he goes, and
Oh.
then, yeah, it was
Yep.
great, dude. Fucking
Well,
Hogan.
it wasn't up to him, right? Hogan was just doing his job, right?
Bullshit. I'm sure Hogan talked Vince into it, dude.
Lobbied it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was bullshit. It was bullshit, dude. I'm sure he
And he had
pulled
like
every
200.
lever he pulled every lever he could to get that belt off of him because he had just come
Yes.
back. Yeah.
Yeah. So Charlie's talking about WrestleMania, freaking maybe like 6 or 7,
I think it
8.
was
More-
7.
It was
I
at
think it was
Caesar's
7,
Palace.
yeah.
7. It was at Caesar's Palace, and Yoko just was it Bret Hart that he
Yep.
just beat
Yep.
at the main event. I mean, the Samoan heritage, everybody works so hard. The family's just number one. Yoko is like the shining star up and comer, takes it off of Bret. And Yokozuna's family was like all there. Like 200
Yeah.
people came to see him.
Yeah.
And everybody's crying and just loving it. Like, oh, fucking Yoko, they finally got it. And then
One
America's
of us.
ultimate face, like the
Dun,
guy
dun,
that everybody
dun.
loves, that's like, push
The-
Yokozuna out of the way and takes the belt right off him. He didn't have it for more than 3 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. So bad.
Yeah, that was a good WrestleMania. That's when Undertaker versus the Giant Gonzalez. Remember that, dude?
Okay, yeah, that
Oh,
was
so
Bodysuit.
WrestleMania 9, I think.
That was so
Yeah.
crazy. I remember
The
being
late-
young watching that match
Yeah.
and like, holy shit. that was
El
crazy.
Gigante is what he went by in WCW.
Yep.
And,
But yeah, that
Luger,
Yokozuna-
Luger on the aircraft carrier was SummerSlam. That wasn't WrestleMania, right? Where he slammed Yoko on the
No.
aircraft carrier.
I don't even know if it was a pay-per-view, but they made it like a special or something like
Yeah,
that.
they were really hoping
don't know.
Luger would be the next big thing in WWE.
Oh, he was big. I mean, when they brought him out with that mirror, and then they put the American flag
narcissist.
on all of his
Yeah.
gear, and then the iron plate in his forearm. Luger was hot. Too bad he had to kill Miss Elizabeth. That sucked.
Whoa. She killed herself.
We'll cover Dark Side of the Ring later on. But yeah, boys, we'll see what happens with the results of Royal Rumble coming into WrestleMania. We have AEW Beach Break coming up. Is it a week now? It's not this Wednesday. It's next
It's
Wednesday.
this
right?
Wednesday, I think, is the big.
Oh, it
the
is this
show.
Wednesday.
Yeah, the 5th, right?
All right.
or
Yeah.
the 3rd or
it's
whatever.
good tonight, yeah.
I think it is this.
All right.
That'll be exciting.
So we got some big matches coming up there. We have Sting and Darby Allin taking on Brian Cage, and Ricky Starks.
Yep.
That's going to be so awesome. Plus Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker, the
Yeah,
long-awaited
should be a good
match.
show, yeah.
It's going to be really good. So yeah,
That
we'll be
match is
tuning
gonna
in
steal
on
the show.
Wednesday. And who's that?
That match
Anna
is going
Jay?
to steal the show.
Oh.
The Thunder Road.
Yeah, big.
Yeah. I think
Well-
Sting might be on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's not to the pay-per-view. Yeah, he's at Revolution.
But there
Oh,
is
it's
a
not?
bunch. There is a bunch of matches this Wednesday, and they're been advertised.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that street fight with Sting and Darby Allin. I don't know if you guys saw it on Instagram, but Darby Allin supposedly was at Pastrana Land, like Travis Pastrana's personal playground
Yeah.
today. And he jumps off, it looks like a scissor lift, but it's got to be a treetop height. Just jumps off this thing into a massive pile of foam blocks. Sammy Guevara was also there. So I don't know if a few of the guys went there just to practice some high spots or just have a good time, but I don't know. Maybe that builds into something we see at Beach Break. We'll see.
Yeah, they're joining the Nitro Circus. Maybe they get the Nitro Circus out there. I
Yeah,
like
I was
watching that show.
I was just looking up the card. If you want, yeah, the Elite versus Death Triangle.
Nice.
Lance Archer and Eddie Kingston in a lumberjack match. You know that one's going to be brutal.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of which, for those of you who follow Keep the Kayfabe on Instagram, check out our latest post where we have a GIF of Lance Archer choke slamming Eddie Kingston kind of onto the
This
apron,
gets
more or less
dumped.
straight to the floor.
Oof, so brutal.
Oh, that was so brutal. I don't know if he was trying to choke slam him onto the floor or choke slam him onto the apron. It was like a 50-50 thing, but I think Eddie Kingston needs a new hip after it.
Yeah.
I thought that was bad. Awesome. Well, yeah, Matt just mentioned that you can follow us on Instagram at Keep the Kayfabe. Remember to hit the follow button on Spotify so you can be alerted for all the next episodes. And we'll be recording again next week. Thank you all so much for joining us again. It's been fun. Boys, I hope you have a wonderful evening and a great rest of your week.
Well, I'm going to have nightmares thinking about blood coming out of Alexa Bliss's mouth.
Yeah, I just sent you guys the link, so word life.
Hit me, you can't hurt me. Suck my kiss. Kiss me, people, hurt me. Stick with this. Is she talking dirty? Give to me, sweet sacred bliss. Your mouth was made to suck my kiss.
This is such good shit.